problem. No problem.
Right, sir. So all of us have joined, and thank you very much for joining us today and sparing out time from join us. It's really a big pleasure to meet you and have this interaction with you. So let us begin with the interview. So let's just, sir, travel back in time. Since you graduated in the year 1995, as you pursued mechanical engineering from NIT Patna, it's been a long time since you graduated. So just let's travel back in time. Tell us about your journey before joining NIT Patna and while you joined, and how was your experience there? Something about the college and something that gives you nostalgia.
So it's a long back now. It's more than 25 years. I think we celebrated our this Jubilee last year, I guess, the alumni meet. I wasn't able to reach Patna, unfortunately. Um, One of my batchmate is a teacher there right now, Anjali. Perhaps somebody from architecture would be knowing. She is in architecture. So I'm still in touch with her, keep getting updates about the college. Um, so going back to past, it was I joined the college in 1990 actually, and even 2 years before that also I did my plus two also from there only. So those days I don't know now it is there or not, but those days there was a plus two also being conducted there in that same college. So actually I stayed there for 6 years. So so plus two, and then I continued in the college. It was very different that time. Computer was something nobody had heard of, kind of. It was in some colleges. Even we started that time. I think in my batch, it was the first batch where computer science started. But again, it stopped next year. They could not get the faculty. So you can imagine what is the situation that time. We are from an era when even seeing a computer room was kind of a it was a blessing that we were not even able to see the computers, and we graduated engineering. So that's how it was that time. And mechanical used to be a sought after branch. Mechanical and electronics used to be so. Uh, but during the college itself, I had a very different interest. I wanted to get into roles where I can do more on a people management, more on processes. And those who are from mechanical, they can say that there is a stream called industrial engineering. So I was very fond of industrial engineering. That was my optional paper in final year also. And one of the professors that time, Professor Kane Singh, was kind of my role model. Means I was so fascinated by his style of teaching and his depth. So I wanted to have my career in industrial engineering. Of course, I never thought of computer science at that point of time. And then I did my post graduation in industrial engineering. And after the post graduation, I was working with a government concern. Means it was a National Productivity Council. I think some guys would
National.
have heard of.
Yes.
So I worked there for 5 years. But as you know, means I'm a kind of guy who's never happy or with the status quo. That was internally also. So and those days, getting a government job and leaving a government job was kind of it's a anti-path. I'll say nobody would have did it because it was a dream to get a government job. So everybody in our batch was, even till today, most of them are still working either as engineering services professionals or public sectors. So that's how it was. But I left the job and I got an opportunity with Tata Tea. So now it is Tata, I think Global Beverages, something else, etc. So
Something.
I joined them in NPC. I was in Delhi, but from there I moved to Calcutta to join Tata Tea. And it was a chance. Means while doing industrial engineering, I had realized that industrial engineering is the core of any business systems. So if you are making a business system, you need to know industrial engineering. And SAP was kind of a phrase which was coming up at that point of time in a big manner. Um, and Tata T was going for an SAP implementation. So what happened, that was actually a turning point of my career. I took up SAP, and not only just got involved in the project, it became kind of a my passion. So next 3 years, 4 years, I was kind of very deep into SAP. I learned on my own. I did certifications, means 2, 3 certifications I did, and um,
Sir, I think you have been mute. Are you muted? I could not hear you.
uh, somebody has muted me. Now, is it okay?
Right now, you're audible.
Okay. So where I missed. So can you just
So you were talking about Tata and
Tata?
how you were
Okay.
interested in the SAP.
Okay. So from Tata, actually, I moved to Infosys. There also I was in SAP, and I worked with Infosys for some time, but my heart was in corporate setup. So I wasn't so keen to work in an IT company, and I wasn't very keen to go abroad also. And if you are in a IT industry, you cannot deny that no, I will not go. Once given an opportunity, but again, this is a very antithesis of typically what people want, but I didn't like. So, but I wanted to get into corporate. So from there, I moved back to Delhi, and I joined Reckitt Benckiser. This company, perhaps some of you would have heard of. It has a lot of brands like Dettol, Harpic, Vanish, Strepsils. There are many brands. So there I joined as a head of IT application for the South Asia, and that stint was quite interesting. They had a different ERP system, and we were. I got heavily involved in moving from that ERP system to a new SAP system. Um, but then again, there is a turn came in, and I left that job and I joined a Taiwanese company, Delta Electronics, and this opportunity came at a slightly higher level from what I was doing, and it was a complete head IT position. That company was planning to expand its business in India, and a very interesting, and I took it as challenge. You can imagine, I'm a mechanical engineer, then industrial engineering, did SAP, and all around. Even in IT, I was working in application, and when you become an head of IT, then you become responsible from a projector printer to a complete SAP solution, so everything. And but I took it as a challenge, because if you don't take a challenge in life, you don't grow. So I said, okay. And you guys would not believe that I used to, my team members used to come and utter some words, and I will open Wikipedia and I'll go and learn that what does this mean, because I wasn't actually a core computer science graduate, so a lot of things were not even known to me. But I never stopped learning, and that was, it was a hard way it came, difficult sometimes, a lot of new things I had to master. uh, but 5 years I spent there was a kind of a turnaround. I could pick up everything in IT, uh, set up a lot of plants and offices, even a complete infrastructure, like servers and networks and whatnot. Everything in IT, I did it there, and that was a good ground for me to move to BMW. So uh, then I joined BMW from there. And in BMW also, my initial role was limited to India. So I was kind of responsible head of IT CIO for India business. But as I said, I never stopped there, and I keep on trying and keep on pushing my German colleagues who are very conservative, that why not you use India as a hub for the globe to deliver software services. After a couple of years, finally I got a breakthrough, and I think in 2018 was the first project which was given to me to do for New Zealand. And then then it was just an start, and the whole Germany now realized that yes, India has potential, India can do wonders. We have done, and sitting today, I can tell you now the group is discussing about a very big strategy of setting up a complete development center in India, which may be housing close to around 1,000 odd developers, testers, and all different IT guys. So a long story, but yes, a very interesting and lot of turns. Uh, uh, and what I picked up every time was I picked up the new stuff. So it doesn't matter what is your background, what you have studied in books. Ultimately, if you want to learn, if you want to pick up, and if you know how to handle people, then sky is the limit. That's what I see. I mean, today I'm the Germany has given me a mandate of 1,000 people, but I'm internally I'm dreaming of 5,000 people. So that's how it is at this point of time, and this is what I'm happy to share this particular journey with all of you.
We are happy to be a part of this, sir, and it's really inspiring that you accept challenges every day, and it's really great to see such good initiatives from your side. And now I request Ashwini Kumar to take up the next question, please.
Sure.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Myself Ashwini Kumar, and I'm a fourth semester computer science and engineering student. Sir, as you have been working for close to 10 years, 12 years as an IT lead in various companies. So, sir, what do you think will be the impact of artificial intelligence, mostly automation, on IT jobs and like mostly on the fresh candidates who want to get into IT? Because automation is like they're saying that AI can cause even job losses. So, what's your thought on it? Because you're the IT lead of big multinational companies.
I'll take you back to 90s. In 90s, I told you guys in a story about how the college was. There was in a small computer room. Even to get inside, you have to put your chappals outside. So it was like a
Yes, sir.
temple that the two computers were kept there, and we were not even allowed.
Yes.
And when the computers came up, I think you guys would have not even born that point of time. Um, it was taken as a very negative way. Be it the trade unions or the organizations, everybody just put on the placards that yes, computer is going to take away all the jobs. It was very negative. If you go to the government offices, it used to be in one of the desks of some senior guys, right side put with something covering this one, and that's how the computer was. People are very reluctant to do anything. Everybody thought that computers will come and take away all the manual jobs. Accountings, those days in the companies, to close the books, it used to take 2 months, 3 months kind of a thing. So whenever in a month, and now how it happens with SAP and all these enterprise solutions coming in, you close the books on 30th itself. In the evening at 5 o'clock, click of a button, accounting head submits this final things, whole balance sheet is ready every month. But did what does it mean? Did the accounting jobs went away? No. There are more chartered accountants now in the country, and there are more jobs for chartered accountants than earlier it was. So similarly, if you think AI also, see how I look at AI basically. AI will enable a lot of repetitive jobs, but where it will open up more avenues is that the human potential could be more utilized. Like you start thinking right now what you are doing in a software development, most of the time, a lot of time you spend on a testing. When I look at my estimates of our projects, usually 30 to 40% of the time is into testing. A simple analogy I'm giving you, 30 to 40% of the time is testing. Now, if I have an automated testing, and a testing which is which all the regression testings now happens in a lot of the scenarios in a very automated manner. Has it taken away the jobs of the testers? Yes, it has taken away the job of the testers. But what testers are doing now are doing more advanced works. They are now writing these programs, writing these codes of the automated testing. And there is a lot of opportunities also opening up. Similarly, everywhere, I am confident that AI coming in, the shift will happen more into a higher end of job. So you will be writing more algorithms on which these AI engines will work, or how the machine learning will function in every aspect of things. Means in a life from birth to death, there are many things even right now which with the help of AI and ML can be easily done. Like today we are running means if you have to meet a doctor, it's so difficult. If you have to take a legal advice, it's so difficult. But you see with the IBM Watson now, you can easily get a legal advice. You can easily get a doctor's advice. But does it mean that doctor's job will go away? No. Doctors will be doing more and more research into the higher end things. So this, to me, very simple. Bottom line, I see that this will reduce the repetitive, uh, redundant jobs, but it will open up a lot of opportunities where higher thinking is required. So more mathematical skills, more analytical skills will be needed in future, more people-centric skills. Computer still cannot be understanding the emotions. So those kind of things would be required more in future.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to ask Abhinandan to further ask his questions.
Good evening, sir. Myself
Good
Abhinandan
evening,
from.
Abhinandan. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Myself Abhinandan from UG Department of Mechanical, second year. So I
Nice.
have,
Who is
I
the
have,
HOD right now there?
Sir Amit Kumar. Dr. Amit Kumar is current HOD.
I don't know him. It's my time. All the teachers now have retired, so I don't. Yeah.
So I have a question to you. That so we all know that who is Mr. Prakash Kumar. So who was Mr. Prakash Kumar in your life? So that who inspired you the most in achieving such great milestones? So because we all know in the 90s era it was very much difficult to take a such a difficult path. But so who inspired you?
Very difficult question, actually. uh, to me, a lot of things actually happened on a flow. Actually, how it has happened means what I did. I just go on picking up opportunities which came on the way. I was a very different guy in the college, very fond of sports, a backbencher, means skipping the sessionals, means that's how, means if you guys meet one of my some of my classmates, they'll tell you about this. That is one of those freaky guy, not so much so great in studies. So uh, but I always wanted to be kind of a doing something different. That was there in my mind. So let's do something. Like whole class was trying for a public sector job or IES exams. That time it was a kind of very lucrative career. I never thought of it. Although I worked in initial years with a government organization, but my mind was always that I have to do something different. And I think it came from more of my sporting background. Um, I was a sportsman by core. I participated in every sports in the college. I played cricket, football, name anything. Means I was kind of into everything, and that's where actually my those days, if you see, I was very fond of watching Sachin Tendulkar, watching these guys. Sachin Tendulkar was kind of my era, was a god. Like today, probably Kohli and others for you guys, but on our time, it was Sachin Tendulkar. So these sportsmen, like I was very fond of Roger Federer. These all sportsmen where I was I always looked at them that every day and day out they are doing something different. Means it's a new challenge, a new battle for them, and they never leave the things. See, in a job, what happens? You get into a routine. You set into a routine. So things comes up, and you go in the morning. You're doing the same coding, same stuff, and so those guys who continue to do the same stuffs without thinking that let's do something different, I see they face a challenge in life. And I'll say that's my role models were all the sportsmen. Especially I was fond of Sachin, Federer, and even I was fond of Mike Tyson. So all this, I was quite fond of all the sportsmen. That's later on in the life, when I got into more into computers, then I liked Steve Jobs a lot. I was very inspired. I read his books, and also to an extent Bill Gates also. So their life and history, and that's give a kind of a inspiration now more into the professional life. I think hope you understand where I'm coming from.
Yes, sir, got you. It was a beautiful answer, sir. So, sir, I would like to ask Surbhi to take up the next question to you, sir. Please.
And don't mind if we get late little bit. I'm happy talking to you. Means it's a great opportunity coming back and meeting the students from the college. Yeah.
So it's a great honor for us, sir.
Good evening, sir. I'm Surbhi Singh. I'm currently a computer science engineering second year undergraduate. Sir, I want to ask you that in your entire career up till now, what has been the most difficult or most challenging task for you? Like some incident or something that you would like to mention that you always remember being the most difficult thing for you up till now?
There were many, not one or two. As I told you, I have been changing my job profile, and I've been venturing into new areas all the time. So it's a challenge every day. Uh, when I took up my role as a head IT, it was a big challenge. Um, I, um, I thought that where I am, and the guys were coming to me and talking about networking and talking about the patches on the servers and the antivirus and all these things. And I was whatever I was more into SAP and more into application side. So I still could understand the business process, but not this hardcore technology. And it was a difficult time. It was a difficult time for me to pick up things. Then there were projects were running. There were guys who are expert in who are doing it, but ultimately I was responsible, and I was I had to oversee, and I had to solve some of their problems, even if not directly technically, but to get the right people on board and to coordinate and get into meetings. Those were very difficult times, but very interesting. I can tell you, I never felt that I'm going to quit. No, I have always enjoyed doing new stuff. Um, Even now I'm running a project on RPA, although my time doesn't permit me to spend a lot of time on that. But I have a team which is working on RPA, and I do get with them. What do you do? How actually you do? What are the things you are doing? So it's basically a constant urge of learning, more like as I told you, as a sportsman, that's finding a new opponent and conquering them. That's my life actually. That's I've been.
Certainly, sir. That was an amazing answer and also a great piece of advice of never quitting. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to call Archana. She'll be taking up few questions.
Hello,
Hello,
Archana.
sir. Hello,
Hello.
sir. Sir, I'm from CSC department, second year undergraduate. Sir, I want to ask you, did you feel that college prepared you for the, outside world, for all the opportunities you got and all the risks you had to take? Yeah.
So this year, actually, when during this Corona period, I happened to go to Patna and I visited the college. There was nobody. I mean, as I told you, one of my classmates, Anjali, is there, the professor in architecture department. So she invited me. She came and I went, and she took me for a round, and I roam around the campus, and I saw this campus is a lot more different than what it was in our days. It's much more facilities, many things. So I think, but even on our days, our time, uh, these facilities were not there. But what the college taught us basically, that how to work with the people. Uh, there were guys from the different corner of the state with a different background. So how do you gel well with them? How do you carry forward your work? Once we had to do project works where there were guys whom you had never known, but you have to complete that. So these are the things actually helps a lot, uh, both in terms of shaping up a career as well as facing the challenges. Um, Plus the teachers that time. We were fortunate to have some of the very learned professors. At least one thing I say, compare when you compare the today's college and those days college, I'm quite sure you would not be having the quality of the teachers which were there at that point of time. Those days, who was in a teaching profession, he was there out of passion. They were the toppers of the college, had done their masters and PhD from abroad, and just out of passion they have come and they have got into the teaching profession. So they were awesome professors, and they made us to rigor a lot. They made us to grind. I remember there was my machine design, machine drawing, sorry, teacher was there, IDP, Indradev Prasad. Um, um, I don't know where he is right now, but no matter what the drawings you make it and prepare it, and in mechanical drawings are very difficult compared to other
Yes.
branches. Yes, and he will just put 15 points where it is wrong, this is wrong, this you have not done, this line is thick, and he will teach us that even to draw the arrows. How and he made us to visualize what a machine is, how the 3D views will look like, and the way he made us to grind. Then there was a professor called PK Sinha. He retired as a dean also. I think he was the first dean for when it converted to NIT. And he used to teach us machine design. And he was such a superb teacher that in the ground, if the moment he'll see us that we are loitering around, he'll just come and say, okay, come, let's go into the classroom. It was that kind of an atmosphere, and he will take us into the classroom and immediately start with one example without touching, and he was able to remember every single line of the machine design book. You talk to mechanical guys, they will be surprised how these kind of teachers were there, but he never touched the book. And on the board, he used to start from one corner, go to the last corner with just a chalk, call somebody, and this kind of teaching was phenomenal and very basic. So the teachers basically taught us to attack the basics on the theory. If your basics are clear, then rest of the things fall in place. So and that's what I think the college taught us. So two things I always recollect. One is the teachers who gave us really a thinking process of using common sense and using the basics more. And second is being in a company of guys from different facets, means different areas, and then navigating through this one is the what helps you in your job at lot. Because if you're getting into a job, you will get the guys from all different estates, different corners, different background. There'll be somebody from a very rich family, somebody from a very average family, and you have to work with all of them. They'll have a different taste, different way of life defined, but ultimately if you are in a project and you have to get things going, you have to do the work all together. And this is something this is something where the college actually teaches you, means not the textbooks. You don't carry the textbooks into your job life, but whatever the projects you do there with the guys there, and you learn actually what actually happens in the job. I think these are the two things I take. I think the college taught us and made us ready to face the world.
Yes, sir. That was really a wonderful and informative answer, if I can say. Thank you, sir. Now, I think Samriddhi will take up the question.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
I'm Samriddhi from a second year student from Electronics and Communication Department.
Okay, difficult subject. Yeah, always.
Yes,
I never understood what this is.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
It is one of the most difficult branches. And my question is, what kind of changes do you expect from the Institutes of India providing technical degrees? Like, what was something you think you would have benefited from more if that thing would have changed during your undergraduation?
It's a very, very good question, actually. What I realized now after my 25 years of career is that where actually we lacked was industry and institution partnership, and this was one of the biggest missing element which was there. So the college was going in one direction, a very, very conservative, very traditional, and very syllabus driven. My time, it was syllabus which was coming for 10 years and it was never got changed. So even the teachers were not allowed to venture out also. So that was a difficult part. So we were not exposed to industry those time, but in IIT still it has started happening. There was some collaboration was there, but not in our institutions. There was not much of a collaboration with the industry. I think going forward, what I see institutions will be stepping up more is getting into more collaboration with the industry. Like you are a second year student, means how I see that you should take up an industry project under the guidance of maybe your one of your professors. You take the industry would be willing to fund you also. This is not there could be small projects, you do it, and industry would be also benefited, you would also be benefited, that what exactly the industry looks for. So on the industry side, they expect the students to be very ready made and ready for the very first day. Like I do interviews, and when I ask the candidates, the freshers, I always feel that these guys are very raw. Means they're intelligent, smart, very good, but they have not been exposed to how an industry works. So they don't understand what are the business processes, what happens in the industry, what are the connecting elements, how actually the groups run there. More so, there are a lot of people management skills also required. So the college guys are kind of bit of missing. But nowadays you guys are very smart. I have seen that new generation is very smart and they can cope up with it. It's more to do with the good school education also. But our time it was very I missed it, and we had to struggle. Not only me, I can say the most of my batchmates, they had to struggle, and we actually had to spend 4-5 years extra compared to what ideally would have been. So those initial 5 years, it actually went into um, a lot of learning how an industry works. So that's very important. Get into industry projects, get into more of a use more of a interactive sessions. Like if you get into an industry, the very next day you would be asked to present something in a with a few vice presidents or general managers sitting, and the guys who come out of the college, I always find them faltering it because they are not exposed to this kind of an environment where people are very sound and technically questioning you, or at times very tough. So get into this grind mode. That's what I think. That's what the institutions should do more. So they should collaborate more with the industry, take up the real-time live projects. Like electronics, there is a lot to do in IoT now. It's all about sensors, but what happens in college? You are just doing a very basic stuff of things. Why not pick up a project in some industry or somewhere who are actually in a real time basis doing something, some pilots on IoT, get into it and develop a product for them. So that's where I think the college needs to change a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a very informative answer. And now I would like to call Shivam to ask his question.
Hello, sir. Myself Shivam Tyagi. I'm from EC.
Oh,
So,
great.
question to you is, what are your suggestions for handling failure if it comes head on?
Ha. It's learning. Failure is what? Either you win or you learn. That's it.
So there must
So
be some kind of action plan that you currently
no,
know.
no. Just think that why I failed. Means
Okay.
what is something I could have done better. That's it, and move forward. There are so many avenues now in the world. That's one failure is nothing. Means there are so many times in my life, every day, some project or others are failing, but we don't stop. Yeah, it has failed. There was some reasons due to which something has happened. Okay, we'll correct it into the next. So this mode of plan, do, check, act, this cycle needs to go on.
Okay, sir.
And
So,
there should not be any a word in a dictionary like failure. Failure comes with a learning. That's it.
so I'd like to thank you for that answer, sir. And now Paritos would like to ask the last question.
Good evening, sir. This is
Good
Paritosh.
evening.
I am currently second year undergraduate from computer science. So I would like to ask you, what message would you like to give to your alma mater?
Sorry,
What message would you like to give to your alma mater?
alma mater. Oh. I'll say I'm thankful to whatever I am due to you. That's a plain one line I can say. A very emotive connection.
Yes.
And wherever whatever I'm doing in life, it's all because of the institution, means the teachers, the colleagues, and it has shaped the life actually. So I'm very thankful for whatever I am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Paritosh. So that would be the end of the question that has been curated for the interview. However, sir, I thank you very much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you for this interview. And since this was conducted through Alumni Cell team, we'd also like to have this interview be posted on LinkedIn as well as on a YouTube channel, so that reaches the better amount of audience and who want to hear you and your perspective of life, engineering, and career wise. Also, sir, Alumni Cell was recently formed last year as an official body. So, what are some feedbacks you'd like to give? How shall we work? And any notes that should be taken down so that we'll work on that in the future?
I'll tell you again a very interesting story from our days. Our days, there was no alumni sale, no campus interviews and all. We from final year students, a few of them, just a few, we joined together and contributed from our pocket. Even printing a letter was used to cost us 20 rupees, and those days 20 rupees was kind of too much. So
A big amount.
big amount, yes. And so we all contributed and we printed letters to invite industries to the college, send it on our own. There was no alumni sale, there was no nothing like this existing that time. We send it. So only one company responded, Tata Motors. They came for the campus. Nobody came, but we received a lot of even apologies also, that we are already full, we are not going to the college anymore, so next year we will consider. But what has happened, that effort didn't benefit us of that particular batch, but it went to the people and they started recognizing, yes, there is some college like this which is there, and that's also. And so at least 500 companies we had reached out. Some of them later on came into the campus also, which I came to know later, that yes, some more companies that visited in the subsequent years. So I'll say keep reaching out and develop a bit of a early relationship with the industries. Get in with the projects, which was answering in the last question somebody was asking me. So I said that, so try to reach to the industry when you are in a third year itself or a second year itself, and use them to showcase some of the good works what you can do. There are a lot of colleges now, and everybody is kind of eyeing for this cake and to get the company's attention. And the best way to get attention is by demonstrating some good work. So if some relationships are built, even if it is free of cost, no problem. We will not ask for a stipend. That's what is I see nowadays. Some colleges come and say that, okay, we will not ask for any stipend or any money, but we want to give you our children for 6 months. You give us some good project and allow them to do it. So this kind of can be facilitated by the alumni cell. Reach out to more and more companies, do some collaborative project, and I can tell you this will create wonders. That's
Sir, someone
yes.
from the audience, Suman Saurav, also wants to ask you a question.
Yeah, sure.
So, please.
Good evening, sir. My name is Saurav. I am from mechanical second semester student. So I want to ask, sir, is there any scope in mechanical branch in near future?
Is there any scope
in mechanical branch, in mechanical department in near future? Because there is, many people say that the scope of mechanical engineering is degrading day by day, and we have to get.
I'll not say the scope. I'll say this stream needs to reinvent itself. See, every industry, you go to any industry, still the core functions which are there is mechanical and electrical. Yes, electronics has come in. So you go to any industry, be it a steel sector or a power sector or any machine industry or anything, even chemical industries. What happens? Who runs the factories? It's the mechanical guys and electrical guys. And now, since everything is managed with the sensors, so you need a lot of electronics guys also. So these three streams are not going to go away. But what is going to change basically is that it will no longer remain a very isolated stream. Like if you want to be a pure mechanical, I think that time are slightly reducing. You have to bring in an element of computer science into mechanical. You need to pick up a lot of. Now you see how it is going to step up, and that's what I see. And sitting today, I can say in the next 5 years or so, the whole automobile industry would not be there in the way it is there currently. There would not be any IC engines. It will be running on the batteries. There will be very less parts there, just in a skeleton. And ultimately, what would be running this will be the computers. So eventually what you need to pick up, or anybody in the mechanical, is he needs to pick up those comp science skills actually. So it has to be a all these streams are finally going to merge at one point of time. There would not be anything like a pure computer science. There would not be anything like a pure mechanical. It will be a mixture of all this. So that's how industry is going to step up. You guys are in a very interesting times, very difficult times also. As I told you, I'm in BMW, and we guys are talking about it for last 3-4 years, very extensively on what is going to be the future of automobile industry. And this industry is there for more than 200 years. When the IC engine was invented, long time back, and since then the companies like Mercedes is there for 150 years, BMW more than 100 years, and they never thought about it, but now they are thinking about it. So our cars are now going to become a running data center. It will have a lot of IoT devices, a lot of interactions. We are expecting to get into autonomous drivings, electrical cars. So it's a paradigm shift which is going to happen in the industry, those core mechanical industry. So be prepared for that. The basics will remain there, but you need to merge it with computer science.
Okay, sir. Sir, any suggestion for mechanical branch student?
Once it is all your interest area, definitely. What are you want to get into design? Are you want to get into what's your interest?
Basically, means to invent to combine things.
See, there will not be now any more inventions into IC engines, but there could be inventions around your customer interactions. How the different features of the car would be looking like. So that's something a mechanical engineer only will do.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for your advice.
So thank you for being so generous, and we have exceeded the time.
No problem. I enjoyed it.
We had a great interaction. Also, it's a request from my side that everybody turns on the camera so that we can capture this moment.
Sure.
So everybody please turn on the cameras. Manvi, you please take a screenshot. I request the team to please turn on their cameras so that we can take a screenshot. Thank you.
Very
Shivam?
good. Yeah, I could not imagine this happening.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is everyone here? The team? So this is our alumni student team, by the way.
Good.
Manvi, can you please take a screenshot? Or somebody please just.
Yeah, I did.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
sir,
you, everybody. It was really pleasure being with all of you, and I'm quite happy to see your interest and enthusiasm in conducting this. This very much I am able to recollect my school, my college days actually. That's very good. All the best for you. All the best in your careers, and whatever, wherever you are doing, you just do it with a passion, and that's it.
Sir, just one small request from my side, because since we'll be curating this in the PDF format also, so that we'll put up on the LinkedIn. If you could just get your hands on some old pictures of yours from college time or anything of that kind.
Okay, I will share later on.
Yes,
There is
please.
a one college group photograph I think I have.
Be very
that I can
nice.
share. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Your determination and your experience achievement, they set an example for every aspiring student of our college, and we look forward to having more meets with you and sessions. Thank you very much for joining us.
Sure.
Have a great day. Stay safe and stay connected.
Thank you. Thank you. All the best, guys. Stay safe.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
So,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.